Welcome, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by. This time I'm coming your way for another very cool retro VHS showcasing video. Just came across this recently at Half Price Books, priced at maybe a little higher than I would have liked it to have been, but being me and being really, as of late, when I find them, and if it's something that's, got the watermark and stuff and relatively interesting, well, even if it's not interesting, I bought the 10 Commandments VHS factory sealed from 1990, so I guess it doesn't even have to interest me. Just factory sealed VHS, I guess, will interest me. But this one is certainly more interesting than the 10 Commandments to me. Incidentally, we actually ended up, I never seen it before, and we ended up seeing it online after I found this VHS, and it's actually a pretty cool movie. But at any rate, I'm coming your way to showcase this factory sealed VHS, probably the original VHS release that is factory sealed of Sea of Love. As we can see on the back there, copyright 1990, MCA Home Video Incorporated, all rights reserved, printed in USA. Now it's interesting that in 1990 they actually did change their MCA Home Video logo from this 80s version to the more modern version for 1990. Obviously that would have happened after this VHS was printed and released, so it's kind of interesting to see the 80s MCA Home Video logo with the copyright release year of 1990. Taking a closer look at the front cover, presumably original theatrical poster art was used for this front cover. Pacino, Sea of Love, as we can see a Target sticker, early 90s Target sticker, price ripped off. This was most likely a gift, unwanted gift from someone to someone. It's really kind of cool. Who knows the history of this? Just imagine all the unwanted gifts that were given for Christmas or birthdays or whatever. It's quite the industry, making people think they have to make financial contributions to the system because it's someone's birthday or this contrived holiday of Christmas or whatever. But that's another video. But Sea of Love, presumably original theatrical poster art. Not being very familiar with this movie, but one can assume. We've got a kind of a little spiel there on the poster. In search of a killer, he found someone who's either the love of his life or the end of it. That's the first time I actually read it. It's kind of funny. But heat of a passionate moment there between Al Pacino and Ellen Barkin. This might be like one of the first movies I've ever really even seen Ellen Barkin in. Kind of interesting. She was kind of in a lot of movies for a while there. Was it the late 80s, early 90s, and then maybe disappeared. But this might be the very first Ellen Barkin movie I've ever seen. Panning further down the front cover, Al Pacino in an action. I mean, this isn't really any kind of action movie, but he's holding a gun in a James Bond pose there. Late 80s Al Pacino, getting further down to the bottom of the front cover. Abbreviated credits, you can see that the names there, Al Pacino, Ellen Barkin, and John Goodman, are in a lighter color, and everything else is, the credits are grayish. We've got stereo bottom corner, closed caption logo, and on the other bottom corner, the 80s MCA Home Video logo. Taking a look at the right spine, we've got the 80s MCA Home Video logo on the top, Sea of Love upside down, which is interesting. I don't know why that is, but maybe what Universal was doing at the time. But one of the coolest things about this whole release, and I wouldn't have got it if this wasn't on here probably, because this is your the way you can be absolutely sure that this is a factory sealed cassette. This is some really good VHS shrink wrap counterfeit artists out there. This is proof that this is an authentic factory sealed VHS. You've got on the wrapping here on the right spine, you've got the 80s. It was just so cool to see the 80s MCA Home Video logo watermark on the shrink wrapping of a VHS, because I suppose I would have seen it back in the 80s when I got some VHSs like Halloween 2. I would have gotten brand new from Suncoast at the time and things, so I've probably seen it, but I haven't seen it in quite a while, so it was really cool, and hopefully I can show that in a way in the picture where you're able to see the 80s MCA home video watermark on the shrink wrap of this factory sealed VHS release. Hi-Fi Dolby Surround Stereo, catalog number 80883. Taking a look at the left spine, as we can see, the title is upside down once again. I prefer it to run from the top to the bottom. This runs on both spines from the bottom to the top. And one thing you'll also see in a lot of VHS is if it runs from bottom to top on one spine, usually on the other one it'll go from top to bottom. But in this case, on both spines, we got a title that runs from bottom to top. Everything else, with the exception of the watermark on the other spine, is identical. Top of this factory sealed VHS looks exactly like this. Taking a look at the back top corner, as we've already seen, 80s MCA home video logo and your information there. Also barcode, VHS, a little quote from the Siskel and Ebert days. 2 thumbs up. Sea of Love is a sexy thriller. We've got some publicity images of Ellen, what the hell's her name? I gotta look at the front, Ellen Barkin. Ellen Barkin there, and Al Pacino from the late 80s. Got the main picture for the background, and then we got 3 kind of vertical images of Ellen Barkin and John Goodman and Al Pacino. Al Pacino gives a critically acclaimed performance in this highly charged, erotic thriller. Veteran New York City police detective Frank Keller is a workaholic living on the edge, joining forces with Detective Sherman, I don't know how to say that last name, to track down a bizarre serial killer. He encounters a beautiful suspect. Convinced of her innocence, Keller enters into a passionate affair, despite hard evidence linking her to the murders. Mounting suspense leads to a surprising conclusion in this stylish chiller from director Harold Becker. As we can see, color 1 hour 53 minutes, rated R, closed caption, digitally recorded, and you've got a copyright year for the release of the film itself, 1989, Universal City Studios Incorporated, all rights reserved. And normally this is where I'd show the VHS cassette itself, but the whole point of me buying this cassette is the fact that it is factory sealed, so obviously I'm not going to break the 35-year-old factory wrapping to show you the cassette. It's funny because Beth was with me when I got this, and she's like, oh, I'd kind of like to see it. I'm like, well, be damned if I sure as hell ain't going to open this cassette, so we're going to have to see it a different way. I mean, obviously you're not going to open a 35-year-old factory sealed VHS. That's the whole point of buying this. So yeah, but anyway, I'm sure you can see images of the cassette online if you want to see the images of the cassette. Hope you guys enjoyed the showcasing. Thanks so much for watching. And as always, we'll catch you on the next video.